Hey, Paige. Happy Friday. Hey, Lorraine. Good afternoon. Deanna. Hello. Debbie Williams Walker. Thank you so much. Edna. Good to see you. Eric, I was just eating some chips. Good to see you. Uh, Elder, which means you're with the cutest baby out there. So, hey, Maya. Crystal, hello to you. Hey, Tammy. Good to see you. Angela, hello. And hello from Jacksonville, Florida. Coach Cassell Bell. Andrea, hello. Gwen, good evening to you. Sabrina, good evening to you. I don't know where you are, but Sheila, hello. Hey, Reverend Felicia, good to see you. Hey, Bryn, good evening to you. Good to see you, Patricia Richardson. Hey, Hazel, thank you for joining us. Lenora, thank you. Dana West, good evening. Happy Friday to you. And to Barbara, thank you. And C. Nicole, I am doing well. Sharon, thank you. Catalina, thank you. Good to see you today. Cheryl, hello. Candy Girl, what's going on? Uh, E. Joyce Parrish, good to see you. Angie from the DMV, always good to see Pamela. Antoinette, thank you for joining us. Hey, Joan, I'm glad that you're with us. Good to see you today, Glenda. Denise, thank you so much. Um, Ed, yes, we are working on that. Maggie, hello. Dr. Priscilla, thank you for joining us. Raya, thank you, hello. Mrs. Flo, thank you for joining us. Hey, Latasha. And Cynthia, good to see you. Elder Flossie, thank you for joining us. Joni, thank you. Pastor Thurman Tillman, thank you, and thank you for helping me out tomorrow. Tracy, thank you for joining us. Sheila, hello. Gloria, hello. Claire, Chara, hello. Joanne, thank you for joining us. Good waving back at you, Marvin. Gwen, good evening. Grady, hello. Zelphia, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Sister Luanda Tillman, thank you for joining us as well. Jessica, hello, how you doing? Hey there, Philip, thank you for joining us. And Dr. Zane, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Marianne, I'm glad to have you with us. Hey, Ann, hello. Hey, Janet, thank you for joining us. Kareem McMichael, great job this weekend on the Southern Regional Press Institute. Jessica, good to see you. Thank you. Elder Charles, good to see you today, sir. Rock hard. Lakeisha, thank you. Tamara, thank you for joining us. Hey, Miss Sadie, good to see you. Tamara, Lady Blade. Hey, Mother Monica Bryan, good to see you. Joan, thank you for joining us. Suzanne, hello. And Elena and Jessica, hey. And Camila, thank you for joining us. Michelle, good evening. And I hope you saw your picture. Thank you, Ed, for setting the atmosphere. No hate. This is a no hate zone. Um, hey, Margarita, hello for joining us. Andrea, thank you so much. And hey, Mary Jane Crouch, again, thank you for all the work that you do everywhere. I think you have a drive tomorrow, right? And Tamara, that's right. This is what we do. Hey, Miss Miriam Sharp, thank you for joining us. Kathy, thank you. Hello. Hillary, Hillary and the Handelmans, thank you. Steve Donset, thank you for calling us. Latrina Denise, thank God it is Friday. Tanisha, thank you, no problem. Tiffany Butler, my favorite twin, thank you. Maddie, hello, thank you for joining us. Terry, hello. Brittany is on. Suzanne, thank you so much. Stacy, hello, good evening. Hey, and Ethel is in place. Thank you for joining us. Glenn, I am doing well. From Hunter and Saria, they having a date night of their own. Thank you, Saria and Hunter, for joining us as well. And Bruce, that's right. So we got all the Brooklynites in the house. We have all the Liebermans. We have Bruce. We have, well, I don't know now. I haven't heard from Molly, but I got Bruce. And so I guess Marsha is there, but I don't know where Molly is. Troy, thank you for joining us as well. Deja, thank you for joining us. Hey, Jay Chris, I did get it, and yes, I'm going to try to do it. And Denise is all the way from Cleveland, Ohio, and we're glad always to have her with us. Hey, Renee Garland, we are planning her wedding. And so good to see you, Katrina. Thank you for joining us again on this evening. And Lanice says hi. Hi back to Lanice. Cynthia, thank you. Okay, so Molly is cooking dinner, so all the Liebermans are in place. Cynthia, thanks for joining us. Tammy, I mean, people got time to come to me. I got time to shout them out. Miss Betty, thank you for joining us as well. Sandra, thank you. Karen, thank you for joining us. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Hope Rich is doing fine. Regards to him. And Lauren and Nikolai are on. We are glad about that. And always, thank you. Good to see you, Andre. Appreciate you being here. See, Nicole, Molly is cooking dinner for her mother and father. So that's what good children should do. Raya, thank you. I am doing well. Happy Friday. Valeria, good evening to you. Andrea, good evening. Hello. Always good to see you. My man, Steve, good to see you, Steve. Thank you for joining us. I know you're a busy man, so just that you have time to come hang out, we appreciate that. And Latrina, we're going to talk a little bit about masks in just a minute. And see, Cheryl, I told you, Foresight, look at this, Foresight, bam. And I can see, so yes, Foresight eyes is on Martin Luther King. Tell him I sent you. Tell him you're down with Friday date night. Michael, good to see you, Mike. Thanks for joining us. And Vanessa, we're glad that you're with us as well. It's Friday. Patricia, thank you. God bless you as well. Laura, hello. We got a lot to talk about, so we're going to be talking in just a moment. And, okay, Rich got his first COVID shot. He's feeling great. Good to go. Very good. Cheryl Russo, thank you for joining us. And Ned, thank you. And Vicky is joining us from Tybee. Vicky is our Tybee friend, so good to see you as well. Erica, thank you for joining us as well. And we have Sonia from the ATL who is on, so we're glad to see Sonia. Stanley, hey, Barbara Kaufman is here, so we're waiting on the child. And Brad, Deanne, Crispin are here, so good to see you. Jeremy, thank you for joining us. Saria has an appointment there next week. Well, tell them we said hello. Etta, thank you, from Clinton, Maryland. Jamie, thank you for joining us. And Erica says the Foresight team has a vaccine, so that's good. Rebecca, hello. And, Loto is in the house. Loto's in the house, and always good to see Loto. Loto, I need you to get my hair right as well. Hey, Faith, thank you so much for joining us. And Latrina, we're going to talk a little bit about that. And Jason, you're on the trolley. Well, good. I hope you keep your eyes on the road and listen to us from the trolley. And so, hey, Reverend Thomas Hart is here, and the Queen is there with him. So I'm glad you got your shots. Hey, Kay, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And good. Well, Denise, we're glad that you're here. And Miss Annette Mitchell is on, and her COVID shots are done. So yay, yay, yay. Good. Well, Erica, I mean, everybody got to get their hair right. I mean, we all have varying levels of hair. Wow, Terry Price Smith is on, so I am truly on it. Okay, Joe, you sent me a message. I'll look at it. Hey, Mequan Green, good to see you, sir. Appreciate all that you're doing. Grady, Amber says hey, so hey back to Amber. And good evening to Lynette. Let's go ahead and let's get started. Hey, thank you, Milan Patel. Thank you so much for joining us. So here we go. Yeah, Terry, I feel the same way. All right, Crystal Kaufman is here, so now we have the entire Kaufman clan there, so we're feeling all right about ourselves. Patty, thank you for joining us. If it is Friday in Savannah, Georgia, if it's Friday in Savannah, Georgia, and you are keeping the faith and following the science. If it's Friday in Savannah, Georgia, you're keeping the faith and following the science. If it's Friday in Savannah, Georgia, you're keeping the faith, you're following the science, you are wearing your mask, you are washing your hands, and you are watching your distance. If it is Friday in Savannah and you are keeping the faith and following the science, you're wearing your mask, you're washing your hands, and you're watching your distance, and you have nowhere that you have to be, then you are here with us. It is date night. It is Friday. Thank God it is Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. I am on it. honored and blessed to have you with me on Savannah's biggest Friday night party. And we are glad that you are with us now, almost 50 weeks strong. 50 weeks back to back to back to back to back. You made that happen. 50 weeks back to back to back. And in 2 weeks, we will celebrate 1 year anniversary every single Friday for the last year. I am honored about that, and I am blessed that you all are joining me. Ms. Verdell Jones, thank you for joining us. Doreen, thank you so much. And Ternisha, I will get that information that you sent to with us. For Linda, hello as well. And Valerie, thank you for joining us as well. Mary, I am doing the best I can. And again, we are just so glad. Alan, thank you so much. Thank God it is Friday. So we're excited. I mean, we're still here. We are still here. We are still here. And Lorenzo, I hope that was a compliment, because if it's not, we're gonna have some problems tonight. So let's get started. Let's get started. A lot to talk about. Hey, Michael, I appreciate you for that. Let's talk. So, COVID is still here. The weather today was absolutely phenomenal. It is going to get better. It's going to get better. And so, I will explain Salvation Army. It's going to get better, but we're still in the middle of a pandemic. Regardless of what you see, we are still in the middle of a pandemic. And therefore, we have to act as if we're still in the middle of a pandemic. Which is why, for me, hey, Paula, good to see you. It boggled my mind to see the state of Texas that's already been through so much, both natural and unnatural. It bothers me to see the state of Mississippi, who should know better. And now they are relaxing their restrictions. What sense does that make in the world? Good to see Tabitha Odell. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are in the world. I mean, what sense does that make? We have come so far. We're in a position now where people are now starting to become vaccinated. Hey, Wayne, thank you for joining us. It makes no sense to me that we would take our foot off the gas when we have gained some momentum. Okay? So we'll talk a little bit about that. Got Rocket Robin on all the way from Kansas City, Missouri. But it makes no sense to me. That's why I'm going to tell you now, unless our numbers are better, Savannah's restrictions will stay in place. Because we cannot forget, if we don't do it for ourselves, we need to do it for those that we lost along the way. I believe we have an obligation to those that we have lost, to those who are still struggling with coronavirus, to do all we can to keep people safe. Now, we have some challenges, and I mean, I'm very clear about what they are. Our state feels differently, and that's been an issue for us. We have a mask mandate, and we will continue to have a mask mandate until the conditions get better. When is that? I don't know. Because that's not about me to determine. It's about what the statistics say. What do the numbers say? Hey, Linda, thank you for joining us. Okay. Well, Michael, since you went there, let me go ahead and deal with that right quick. So first of all, I was not at a party. I was at the Chamber of Commerce oyster roast yesterday. Don't believe everything you hear, Michael. Come on, you better than that, Michael. Don't believe crazy folks who put up crazy stuff. So anybody will tell you that I had a mask on the entire time I was there, except when I was eating. And y'all have not figured out yet how to create a mask where I'm going to be able to eat. So with our mask mandate, it is perfectly acceptable if you are actively eating to take your mask down in order to eat. And the picture, if you pay attention, clearly shows my mask is down and I am eating. I am eating. You see the plate, Michael. 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 Don't believe the crap. You see me eating. As a matter of fact, you also see me next to a gentleman. That gentleman is my security detail, who I'm bubbled with every day and drives me every single day. And we were eating. Don't believe that foolishness, y'all. Okay? Don't believe it. You all know how I am. And so, I mean, Michael, you weren't there, so don't believe, that foolishness. I think you should be better than that, okay? Be better than that. No, I mean, I know, thank you, Quincy. I know no explanation necessary, but sometimes you get folks that gaslight foolishness, and that was foolishness. I mean, people got out there, oh, I was at a GOP thing, and I mean, and so what? So what? I got friends in the GOP. Okay, and what? And first of all, well, I go a step further. I was in Thunderbolt. I wasn't even in Savannah. I was in Thunderbolt at Tubby's at the chamber event. And so, I mean, I got to go ahead and deal with, when foolishness comes in and ignorance comes in, you got to deal with it. So he asked a legitimate question. I'm giving him a legitimate answer. So we are done with that for the night. I was eating, and the food was actually pretty good. So anyway. So let's go further. So we're in this time, and things are difficult, and they continue to be difficult. We are, Michael. I appreciate that. I mean, I'm just saying to you, Michael, is that you saw a picture and you automatically assumed. I'm glad you asked because there's some people who don't even ask. So I appreciate you asking. I'm just saying, feel free to ask me, just like you did. We good, Michael. But I just want to make sure, you knew what the deal was. But anyway, hey, well, good. We got Joseph. Joseph is usually the Libertarians of Effingham County. They're great friends of ours, and we're glad to have you here. So anyway, a couple of things we want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is that we finally got a mass vaccination site here in Chatham County. That's the good news. Bad news is at Gulfstream. But then the good news is, as well, Gulfstream is perfectly situated. I mean, they're logistical folks. That's what they do to be able to work this out. The bad news is that Gulfstream is not accessible for anybody if you don't have a car to get out there, or if you are trying to get out there in the mornings, or if you go out there in evenings because of the traffic. Hey, Sarita, thank you for joining us. So we got to work out a way to get the people there. You know what? As I said on the news, beggars can't be choosers. I'm glad we got a site. I'm just glad we got a site. The good part about that is we will be able to inoculate more people above and beyond that what our usual coastal health district is doing. So that's the good news. So what I need all of us to do is, if there are people within those categories, those that are 65 and older, those that have health conditions, those that are caretakers, those that are teachers starting on Monday, let's get them out there. Let's figure out a way. Now, it doesn't start until March the 17th. That's funny. March the 17th. Hey, Sharon, and hey, Felina, thank you for joining us. But we got to find ways to get people out there so we could do it. So, Sheila, the fairgrounds probably would have been better. They didn't ask us. When did I find out? I found out at the press conference when everybody else found out. Well, maybe about 10 minutes before that happened. But, we were very clear. We lobbied very clearly that we wanted, we felt that Savannah should be a site. And so I'm glad we got it. Again, it is what it is. You count your blessings. So we have a site, and now we just have to make sure people get out to that site. So Team Savannah, we're looking at ways to help. Chatham County is looking for ways to help. And then I need you all to find ways to help. Okay? So, that's what we need to do. Michael, seeing news of hiring increasing nationally. Yes, the trend is similar here. I mean, people are hiring. Yes, it is Georgia vaccine, I think. So I'll put that up. You have to have an appointment, but I will put that. I will put that out there. Okay. So we'll figure that out. I will post it so all of you will have it. Um, you know, well, yeah, Linda. I mean, I want to use school buses. I want to use whatever we can use. Whatever we can do to get people out there, I want to get people out there. And so that's kind of where I am with that. We want to get people in place. We want to get them out there. So other couple of things I wanted you to do was I wanted you to make sure that you like this page. We want you to like the page. And the reason why we want you to like the page is because we want you to help us. We want you to help us. Like the page, and then we want you to help us get the word out to people. So we want you to like this page, and we want you to share this page. Like the page, share the page. Like the page, share the page. I'm looking for the information so I can go ahead and post it as it relates to that. So give me 1 second, and I will find it. I want to find it, so I will give it to you so you all can have it for those of you that want the, if you all want it. Okay, here it is. So the site is myvaccinegeorgia.com. 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 So that's the page, so you will have it. And again, we're going to do all we can to get that, but that's the website. I'll go ahead and pin it so that all of you have it. And feel free to get on it, look around, use it if you need to, okay? No, Cheryl, we're not giving out vaccines at the Civic Center. Right now, we're still just doing testing. All right. Shauna, we're talking with Kat. Again, we're trying to see as a community what we can do to help get people on board. So we'll see how it goes. All right. All right. Good to see you, Ann. I'm glad that you're here. Michael, let me get to that in a minute. Thank you, Michael, I appreciate that. But anyway, we posted that, so now you have it. So that's the first thing. So the next thing that really got my ire up this week was, this was a very, very difficult situation for everybody. We knew that we were not going to have permitted events, large permitted events. We couldn't do it. We just couldn't. So we let folks know early. I guess I think that. Wait a minute. All right, somebody's calling me during Friday Night Live, which they know they're not supposed to do. But anyway, I'm on date night. Hold on, let me deal with this right quick. Hey. No, I'm on date night. My Friday night date night, and I'm with my peoples. So, but you can get on. But I'll call you back. Okay. All right. Bye. All right. So y'all. Usually I don't even answer the phone, but it looked like it could have been important. So teachers, I need you to get your shots starting Monday. Custodians, bus drivers, cafeteria folks, go ahead, get the vaccine. Get it. Go ahead and get it. Go ahead and get it. Oh, glad to have Crystal Pitts on here of Crystal Clear Productions Um, Crystal is the one that's hooked me up with all these great graphics. So if you ever need great uh, graphics, I'll go ahead and I'll post her stuff there. She has been an absolute blessing to me. Crystal Clear Creations .us. I'm going to post that there um, just because she's a sponsor of tonight's show, and so I wanted to make sure that you knew that. Um, oh, and another commercial is that um, on Monday we have another Motivational Monday. We had a great time on this past Monday. We were um, talking about credit, and so we had some great folks. We had some great questions. A lot of people said they learned a bunch of stuff, and so we were very, very happy about that. This week on Monday, we are dealing with debt. We're dealing with debt. Okay, we're dealing with debt. So Monday, 7 o'clock, and it is Monday. Motivational Monday, and we're glad that you will be with us. Kay, I don't know about Johnson and Johnson, but if you're a teacher, and I mean, I know we have a bunch of teachers, a bunch of school personnel. We love you. We appreciate you. We love you enough to ask you to please go ahead and get the vaccine. Go ahead and get it. You know, you're gonna be all right. Okay, you're gonna get it. All right. Crystal Clear. Crystal does graphics and photography and videography. She does it all. So if you ever need an opportunity to somebody to make you look real better, make you look better than how you look, she got me looking so handsome. I was like, who is that? So, but no, she does a great job. So just wanted to shout her out and thank her. Gloria, we were looking for you. We just went ahead and we started without you. So anyway, so. Yeah, so Motivational Mondays on this Monday, 7 o'clock, right here on this channel, and we're going to talk about debt. So we're looking forward to seeing all of you there as well. So, so we're going through all of this. The St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee, they get it, and they have been absolutely phenomenal with working with us. We're going to do some authentic events. They're on the religious end, and we're going to really work together. It's not going to be the big events. It's just really to observe the Feast of St. Patrick, and we work with them to do that. And we work with our businesses because I don't want to have to shut stuff down, but y'all know I will. I don't want to shut it down, but I will. And our businesses have been working with us, our tourism community. Hey, Tammy, thanks for joining us. Hey, Joanna, good to see you. They've been working with us. Businesses understand that we are trying our best to get past St. Patrick's Day because we recognize that after Thanksgiving, we had this bump. After Christmas, we had this bump. And so if we could just manage St. Patrick's Day and come through with all these people coming in from all these other places, turning up in our city, we recognize that that will mean that we will get to our destination being past COVID-19 quicker. So, Marvin, that's what I'm getting to. So, hey, Gina, thank you for joining us. Patricia, all the way from Richmond Hill, thank you for joining us. So, we're sitting in the office, and we see on Facebook that Plant Riverside is having a 6-day St. Patrick's Day festival. 6 days. And, I mean, we're looking around like, who said we were going to do 6 festivals? Who said we were doing festivals at all? They told the news, they talked to the city. That is not true. They didn't talk to the city at all. And so people were thinking that we condone this activity, which we did not. I mean, again, we've come so far. We've worked so hard. We've suffered so much. Sedona, hello. And then Plant Riverside, and again, I love Plant Riverside. I think that it is an awesome display of engineering. I think it's an awesome addition to our riverfront and to our city. I think it's awesome, but on the other end of it, you're part of a community, and we want you to be responsible and be a part of that community. And so you have businesses, man, saying we're doing the right thing, but they could do what they want to do. And that's not right. And you know what? It's not right. It's not right. Because now what you are doing and you're advertising is that you're attracting people. Thank you, Patricia. We're bringing people looking for a festival to Savannah into this place. And the only question I'm asking is the money worth it? Is the money worth it? So, the way that our government is set up, and this is where this is really important, is that the governor's order does not allow the city of Savannah to regulate private businesses. It doesn't allow us to regulate it. So they are going to do what they want to do. We cannot stop them from having their festival on their property. We can't do it. But the city of Savannah owns the riverfront, and the city of Savannah owns that park, and we will shut it down. We'll shut it down. Because at the end of the day, it's not fair. At the end of the day, it's not right. And this is not a position where we're going to ask for forgiveness rather than ask for permission. You are part of a community. And we should not be trying to attract all of these folks here who are going to put us in a situation where our safety, not only our safety, our children and our parents and our cousins and our friends who work at these hotels, they work there, they work in these bars. Do you think they want to be sick? That's my issue. So, you do you, you be you. And again, I love Planet Riverside. I do. But right is right, wrong is wrong. And so we have to shut down our portion, then we just shut it down. And let the folks be on your portion, and then we'll ask State Patrol to come in, and then they will go and regulate what the governor said as it relates to your property. We cannot have anybody to endanger the safety and the health of our city that we busted our behinds over the last 12 months to be able to protect. We've come too far. We've come too far. And as far as I'm concerned, and where I sit on this, again, it's not personal. It's business. It's business. Because we got this thing, and I know people who are, I'm anti-business. I'm not anti-business. We need businesses. Businesses are our generators, and you all know we've been here, and we support business. But on the other end of it, we know that healthy people make healthy employees. Healthy people make healthy customers. Healthy people make healthy businesses. It's not the other way around. Healthy businesses don't make healthy people. If we keep people safe, we're able to deal with beyond this. We got to get past March 17th because we got to live on March the 18th and March the 19th and April the 2nd. Everybody is struggling. Everybody. It's been hard on everybody. We know this is a good big weekend for Savannah. We know that hotels are seeing 100% occupancy that they have not seen in over a year. We know this, which is why I have not shut anything down yet, because I want to give our businesses a chance. a chance to make it. But we have to work together. That's how we get past this. Because when folks come here and folks make our folks sick and then they go back to where they go, they leave our folks sick, our children, our parents, our friends and our co-workers. We gotta get past it. So, and Jorge, you're right. We do have alcohol licenses that we can revoke. So all I'm saying is, try us. Try us. We are going to protect Savannah. We're going to protect Savannah. And, you know, if you don't make a dollar because we try to protect Savannah, so be it. But I will tell you that I believe that Savannah is well as it is because we have protected Savannah. I met with a lady this week who's trying to bring she's trying to bring a convention here. And the interesting thing about it was she said what impressed her the most was that Savannah was so insistent on masks. That's not me, that's us. We're doing this. We're keeping Savannah safe. We're following the science. We're keeping the faith. So that's where I am. I'm going hard in the paint for my city. If I get bloodied and bruised by going in the paint, then I'm just bloody and bruised. But if we save Savannah, if we live past March the 17th, if we have our numbers to remain low, and we're getting people vaccinated, Savannah does better. That's where I am. And for people who want to look at numbers across the country, when you look around the country, you see Savannah doing better than most of the places in the country. And that's because we kept the faith and because we follow the signs. That's where I am on that. So I'm off my soapbox about that. What else y'all want to talk about? Y'all done got me all upset now. Woosah. 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 All right, so I wanted to talk about that. Get the shot. Get the shot. Get the shot. Get the shot. Isaac. All right. This is a no hate zone. I don't want to put Gina on you because Gina don't play. So, Patrice, reply about what? What do you want me to reply, Patrice? Oh, thank you, Nichelle. Today is Employee Appreciation Day. It is Employee Appreciation Day, and again, we are so excited, so blessed to have. Hey, Carolyn, glad you joined us. We're so glad to have, I think, the best employees in the world that work for us. They give their all. They work hard. They serve people. They catch a lot of crap. We don't pay them as much as we should, as much as we could, but we need to do better. So I want to send shouts out to all of our City of Savannah employees. And so please, if you see a City of Savannah employee, you can go ahead and please just say thank you to all of our city employees. If you see them, if they're picking up trash, or if they're a police officer, go ahead and give us the opportunity to. And I think that would be a really, really good thing. So I would appreciate that. We care about them. And again, it's just really, really important to us that we say thank you. Thank you is the best word we could do, and so we're sending shouts out to our city employees. We have some that are on here. I saw Alita Coleman and I saw Nichelle Wilson on here, and again, we just thank them. And so as soon as we can, you know, we're going to do something to show them that. All right, good to see Mayor Baker and First Lady Brenda Baker of the great city of Walterville, Georgia. Thank you for joining us. Gerald, what about the shooting still going on in Savannah? Gerald, there's shooting going on everywhere. And I went out the other night, there was a shooting. People in a car driving down the street, they were shooting. We caught the guy. As long as guns are everywhere, we can't stop people from shooting each other. So, Harry, I will talk about that in a minute. So yeah, I mean, you know, we can't say that people can have guns all over the place, and then we, you know, we tie our police hands in terms of dealing with that. You know, Patrice, I'll talk about that in a minute. You know, I'm just saying you can't say that. I mean, in the end, you know, what am I supposed to do about people shooting each other? I mean, at the end of the day, we got to make better decisions, and we have to deal with illegal guns. Some people have lost more. I see Barbara staying strong on here, and Barbara knows the ultimate price. She lost a son. You know, Pootie, that she loves, and she does excellent work of mothers of murdered sons. Again, they want this stuff to go away too, but we can't have it both ways. We can't say, well, you know, we're gonna uncheck with guns and stuff. Then we're gonna get mad when people shoot each other. You can't do it. You can't police your way out of that either. But we'll talk about that. Well, I mean, you know, Gerald, the issue is that, you know, many of our shootings don't happen in plain view. Some happen in houses and hotels and cars. And so even if you have the curfew, you know, if I have a gun and I want to shoot you, I'm gonna shoot you. I mean, you know, I would rather it be, well, let's deal with that. Hey Jen, good to see you. I saw your husband the other day, and we sent some people over to see you, and I know you took care of them. Now I think partly seating is still going on. So, but anyway, we'll talk a little bit about that. So let's talk about the weeping time, and we dealt with the weeping time. It was just this week. Weeping time was the largest slave auction in the history of the United States. It happened on March the 2nd and March the 3rd of 1859. There was a slaveholder. His name was Pierce Butler. He was a gambler and had gambling debts. And in order to settle some of those debts, he had to get rid of some of his property. In this case, the property was enslaved men and women and children. And at this sale in Savannah, right outside of West Savannah, at a place known as the Tim Brock Racetrack, 436 men, women, children, and infants were sold over a course of those 2 days, March the 2nd and March the 3rd, 1859. This auction is considered the largest single sale of enslaved people in U.S. history, and it happened right here in Savannah, Georgia. The story says that it rained profusely over those 2 days, and it's called the weeping time because they said that God must have been weeping. God was crying, and that's why they call it the weeping time. And so there's been a lot of talk about the weeping time and what that represents. And it represents slavery. Hey Tracy, thanks for joining us. It represents, you know, that when you look at the number of people, 436 people that are in that. So if you think of Congress is what, 435 people? This was 436 people that were slaved. And this Savannah at the time was considered a good location because, you know, it was close to Darien, and Darien was close to this area. And they were saying on the first sale day that there was like 200 people there buying it, and that the rains really kept a lot of those buyers away, um, and that it began late, and that it really became a very very difficult people. And say, for example, they came to Savannah by steamboats and the trains, and that these people, these enslaved people, men, women, boys, girls, infants, were kept in the stables of the racetrack. Now, let me help you figure this part out. The racetrack now is where what is called Bradley's Plywood is. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk about the Salvation Army and the Bartow site. Okay, the Bartow site that is being considered by council as a location for the Salvation Army, that is not the Weeping Time site. Everybody agrees, everybody knows it. The property that is considered the Weeping Time site, or is a part of the Brock racetrack, is actually behind that property. And that is now what is called Bradley's Plywood. And it's still Bradley's Plywood. So these folks they were brought here by boat and train. They were put into stables. It was in March, so it was probably pretty cold. They came at the end of February, like February 26th, and they were inspected from February 26th to March the 1st, with people looking at them as if they were chattel. People inspecting them, because the sale wasn't until March the 2nd and 3rd. So people come by and they're looking at these folks. They're looking at them to see which ones they want to buy, like at an auction. And I mean, people came from all over. They came from Virginia, they came from North Carolina, they came from Alabama, Louisiana, because they were coming to get a good deal. This was a sale. It was a sale from somebody who now needed cash and wanted to discount people. And so they said they had a great time. The folks were here in Savannah and they were drinking and had a great opportunity here, and yet they were looking and they were pinching and they were prodding and fondling these enslaved people, looking in their mouths to try to inspect their teeth, making sure that they would not have any defects. So although they have 436 people that were advertised in the sale, only 429 of them were sold. And the ones who were not were either really sick or something. The majority of those were rice and cotton workers, and they had some carpenters there, some shoemakers, blacksmiths. This 2-day sale netted about $300,000, $303,000. The highest bid was for a family for $6,000, and the highest price for an individual was $1,700, and the lowest price was $250. So Savannah has a significant history as it relates to slaves. All right, and this is what this land is about. It is an unfortunate part of our story. However, it's a story that needs to be told, because in this, and I want you just to think about it, mothers, Isaac, be cool, Isaac, please. Mothers were taken away from their children. Fathers were taken away from their wives. Husbands were taken away from their wives. And families were forever separated. They didn't have Facebook to look back on. So you have families that you had your child and you never saw your child again. And you never knew what happened to your child. And you never knew what became of your husband, because they were going back to Louisiana, and they were going to Alabama, and they were going to Virginia, and they were going all of these places. So yeah, it was a significant time and certainly a significant part of Savannah's history. Um, and, you know, that's what the Weeping Time is all about. And so it's coming to the mainstream, um, where people are really interested in that. We actually have um, we actually have the um, names. We have the catalog. We have the catalog and how they describe people. They described them as if they were horses. A buck, or they were, in their age. And I have one of those around here, but you know, that's what it was all about. Which is why when we talk about um, moving forward, um, we look at trying to find ways of of taking care of people, but in the end, is why we have to do things to help people. Brandon, I've already talked about crime in Savannah. I mean, you need to be on time. I already talked about crime, so um, sorry, you might need to watch this later and catch up. Okay, thank you. Um, Jen, this happened in 1859 was the year. Um, and so since that time, we've put some historical markers there, and there's been significant work to be able to address some of this. But we have people all over that may be kin and don't really realize it because they were separated. So, Adrian, do I believe all the shootings due to mental health issues, people being careless, and human life, or both? I think all of the above and more. I mean, again, we don't do sometimes a good job. Megan, I can't cancel that parade on the people. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, um, I, I think that in the end, people have to make better decisions. It is because of the weeping time that we need to have that type of respect for life. I mean, there are people, hey Arlene, thanks for joining us. There are people that I don't really feel, don't necessarily like, but I'm not going to shoot them. There have been people who've done some really mean, nasty things to me. They have scandalized my name. They said things about me um, that wasn't true. They've stolen from me. Megan, we don't call people names in here, okay? So this is your last chance. Um, you know, um, we have to have a fundamental respect for each other. And it's okay if people don't agree with you. But then you agree and then you move on. I appreciated my friends from the Libertarians of Effingham County. He did a really interesting thing, and I really appreciate it. He said, you know what, we don't agree on a lot of stuff, but he agreed with me on something. I mean, in the end, we're still here. Glad to have the great Linda Wilder Bryan here. Linda is just absolutely a superstar. Um, and we appreciate her for all the work she does with the homeless. She goes out, she feeds people. Her foundation, the LB Before and After, you all blessed that. So we appreciate that. Um, we appreciate all that happens. CJ says, what can we do to help with human trafficking and helping with finding people? We're working through the state and helping to do that. You know, we have to educate young people in not being human trafficked. We have to have a better reporting system. We're educating our bars and hotels and restaurants because Savannah is a very good thoroughfare because of our proximity, because of I-95 and I-16. And so we have to have people to recognize the signs of human trafficking. And so we're working with the state to be able to do that. And so we appreciate that. Oh, today is Linda's birthday. Okay. And so that's how we stop human trafficking. We raise it with awareness. And so I want to help us to be able to do that. Again, we're working with the state and partners across the state, because the way you deal with human trafficking is that you address the networks. And so you have to address the networks that people will move people from place to place to place. And so if we can disrupt it here in Savannah, um, then that's how we disrupt it. Megan, nobody's trying to make this place a cruise port. Megan, that was well over 8 years ago. We decided we weren't going to do that. So anyway, um, any other questions? Um, what else do we want to know? What else? What else? What else? Laurie Jones Lewis, it is so good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Um, so yeah, so that's the deal with that. Um, I am concerned, and I do want to say this, is that, you know, our state, um, our state is trying to find ways to stop people from being able to vote. That concerns me. And we have to figure out a way to be able to do that. Megan, if you're bored on a Friday, don't come here if you're bored. That's not the spot. Good to see my big brother, Slice Kennedy. Appreciate that. Patrice, Patrice, ask your question again. Michael is asked about Dr. Seuss's books. You know, Dr. Seuss's his company, his foundation decided that some of his books, 6 of them, were insensitive. And so, all right, Megan, I think everybody tell Megan good night, because I think Megan is going to sleep. Good night, Megan. Had enough. So so I mean, I think, you know, I mean, people evolve. I mean, I looked at a couple of the books and I saw them. I wasn't necessarily offended by what I saw. I mean, that was their decision. I mean, I think, you know, hey, you know, these books were written in the 40s and the 50s, and, you know, I think people grow and they evolve. So I still think that Dr. Seuss was brilliant. I read a Dr. Seuss book on his birthday, and I'm just not going to demonize him for that. I'm just, you know, for me, I'm not doing that. I still love Dr. Seuss. Matter of fact, um, today I'm going to read a book to you all. Today, that was today's treat. I'm going to read a book to you. So, remind me. Linda, we're coming up a housing fair. Yes. Linda, I am trying to reinstate the City of Savannah's Fair Housing Council. Um, you know, we got rid of it. We know people are still being discriminated against, and so, you know, I want to reinstate that council. So we're working to do that. And Linda, let me know how I can help be a part of that. Okay. So for tonight's inspiration, what about challenges to legislation 14th and 15th Amendment violations? Again, I think that has to be played out in the courts. Let's see. Right. Let's see. Green egg. I love green eggs and ham. Is it because of zoning that a special request? Yeah. Yes, it is. Because of zoning is well. The fact is that the property is not owned by the city of Savannah. I think people need to know that it's not owned by the city of Savannah. It's owned by the Housing Authority of Savannah through the United States Housing and Urban Development. And so the United States Housing and Urban Development, Department of Housing and Urban Development, has very clear guidelines for how you use their property. So they have determined that the Salvation Army's use is appropriate. And so because of our zoning rules, they're requiring a special use permit in order to put something there. We can't put anything there because it's not our property. That's like me coming in your house deciding to paint a room. I don't own it. I don't live there. So therefore, I can't put anything there. So that's why Good question, Janie. Appreciate that. Is there a fair housing tax on air bonds? I don't know. What do we do in Savannah to help bring people together and eliminate race discrimination? We're doing it. We get together every Friday night. And guess what? I have white people, I have black people, I have Hispanic people, I have born other places. I have people who don't even live in Savannah. I have people who've never been to Savannah. I have people that are very seasoned. I have some that are very, very young. I have some that have college degrees. I have some who don't have college degrees. I have some that have high-speed internet, and some who are still probably still dialing up. That's what makes Friday night. This is how we eliminate race discrimination. We talk, and we find ways and find things that we agree upon. That's how we get better. All right, I guess interceding shutters. Thank you for joining us. Emma, thank you. All right, movies filmed in the West Side and the businesses making money and the poor families are not. The businesses are making money as parking lots. Well, that's not exactly true. Now, if it's a city-owned property, the city of Savannah permits properties that we own to be used as we permit it, and so we charge leasing for the permitting. So that doesn't have much to do with the poor families. That doesn't do with other families. I will tell you that there are people, there are businesses who lease out their homes to these companies that are trying to come in and do that. You know, that's what they do. These are individualized, contracts between private parties. If they come to the city and say they want to use a city lot and they're willing to pay what we want for them to do that, then they're able to do that. We had a movie being filmed here in Savannah, and they used the back of City Hall, and I couldn't park there for a week because they were renting out the space. All right, I mean, and I don't think that's necessarily a difficult thing because the families would be getting money anyway from that. You understand what I'm saying? So, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. Patrice. I'm talking and I'm monitoring at the same time. I mean, I think I just answered your question. Um, let's see. What else? Let's see. I'm doing it all at the same time. Oh, thank you. We have Savannahans from another country that are here. Thank you. Um, hey, Joe Marinelli, thank you. We had a really interesting visit with our new best friend, and I think she likes Savannah. Hey, Ari, thank you for listening. Sheila's meds are kicking in. Good night to you. Tamara, that's why I want to read it. Jeff, I hope it all worked out for you. Jamie, what are you talking about, Jamie? What are you talking about? Um, hey, Brenda, thank you for joining us as well. Um, why did they pay the families around? Why did they pay the families around the fairgrounds? Well, why would they pay the families around the fairgrounds? They're not using the. I mean, did the fairgrounds pay the families around the fairgrounds when the fair was there? No, they did not. If they're leasing city property, then they pay the lease to the city. Why would they have to pay the families unless there's some type of inconvenience? Now, sometimes if they want to use a street, they will pay those families. But in this case, I don't think that was the case. They were using the fairgrounds, which the city owns, which before that the fairgrounds owned. And the fair went on. They didn't pay people for that. Um, let's see. All right. So I hope that answered your question. I mean, I don't mean to, you know, I mean, when they are filming something over here, I mean, I don't expect them to pay me. Um, if they want to use my driveway, they need to pay me. If I can't get into my house for a certain period of time, yeah, they need to pay me, but not just because they're filming there. Obviously, they pay fees to the city, which helps us to balance our budget, so we don't have to try to raise taxes on our people. So it helps us. It helps our bottom line. So I think that's important as well. So anyway, before I let you go, I wanted to read a book. And this is going to be my inspiration for you. And I just wanted to read it. Farrah, how you gonna leave us? What's up with that, Farrah? How you gonna leave us, Farrah? I don't think I'm gonna give you permission to leave. That ain't right. But anyway, I want to read this because I think sometimes even for us, and this comes from Dr. Seuss, and I think being older, mature people, we will be able to evaluate this a little better. Because sometimes we have to remember how lucky we are. And the older I got, I realized how blessed I am. Okay? So, I'm going to read it quickly. That's today's inspiration for you. And I want you to remember just how blessed you are. When I was quite young, quite small for my size, I met an old man in the desert of Dries, and he sang me a song that I never will forget, at least, well, I have not forgotten it yet. He sat in a terribly prickly place, but he sang with a sunny, sweet smile on his face. When you think things are bad, and when you feel sour and blue, when you start to get mad, you should do what I do. Just tell yourself, Ducky, you're really quite lucky. Some people are much more, oh, ever so much more, so muchly much more unlucky than you. Be glad that you don't work on the Boogalabung Bridge that they're building across Boober Bay and Bum Ridge. It's a troublesome world. All the people who are in it are troubled with troubles almost every minute. You ought to be thankful, Savannah, a whole heaping lot, for places and people you're lucky you're not. Just suppose, Savannah, for example, you lived in Gazette and got caught in that traffic on Zate Highway 8. I'm going to turn this around a little bit. Or suppose, Savannah, just for instance, you lived in Gazette with your bedroom up here and your bathroom up there. Suppose, Savannah, just suppose that you were poor Herbie Hart, who has taken his drumulator apart. He'll never get it together, I'm sure. He'll never know if it's the gick or the gore, listen to the shrugs or the snuts or the snore. Yes, Ducky, yes, Savannah, you're lucky you're not Herbie Hart, who has taken his drumulator apart. Think they work you too hard, Savannah? Think of poor Ali Sard, who he has to mow grass in his uncle's backyard. And it's quick-growing grass, and it grows as he mows it. The faster he mows it, the faster he grows it. And all that his stingy old uncle will pay for shoving that mower around in the hay is a piffless pay of $2 a day, and Allie cannot live on such piffless pay. And Janie, who responded to special requests, the city does. He has to paint flagpoles on Sundays in grooves. How lucky you are, Savannah, you don't live in his shoes. And poor Mr. Biggs, every morning at 6, poor Mr. Biggs has his boyfriend to fix. It doesn't seem fair, it doesn't seem right, but his boyfriend seems to go slump every night. Is slumps in a heap sadly needing repair? Biggs fixes due to the local night air. It takes him all day to unslump it, and then the night air comes back and it slumps once again. So don't you feel blue, Savannah. Don't you get down in the dumps. You're lucky you don't have a boyfriend that slumps. Valeria, no families got paid. And while we're at it, Savannah, consider the schlots, the crumple-horned, web-footed, green-bearded schlots, whose tail is entailed with unsolvable knots. If he isn't muchly worse off than you, I'll eat my umbrella. That's just what I will do. And you're lucky, Savannah, indeed. You don't ride on a camel. To ride on a camel, you must sit on a whamel. And a whamel, you know, is sort of a saddle held on by a button that's known as a faddle. And boy, if your old whamel faddle gets loose, I'm telling you, Ducky, you're gone like a goose. And poor Mr. Potter, T crosser, I dotter. He has to cross T's, he has to dot I's in an I and T factory out in Van Nuys. Oh, the jobs people work at, Savannah. Out west near Hotch Hotch, there's a Hotch Hotcher bee watcher. His job is to watch, is to keep both eyes on the lazy town bee. A bee that is watch will work harder, you see. Well, he watched, but in spite of his watch, the bee didn't work any harder, not my watch. So then someone said, our old bee watching man just isn't bee watching as hard as he can. He ought to be watched by another Hotch Hotcher. The thing that we need is a bee watcher. The bee watcher watched the bee watcher. He didn't watch well, so another Hotch Hotcher had to come in as a watcher. And today all the Hotchers who live in Hotch Hotch are watching the watching the watcher who's watching that bee. You're not a Hotch watcher. You're lucky, Savannah, you see. Jesus. And how fortunate you're not Professor DeBreeze, who spent the past 32 years, if you please, trying to teach Irish ducks to read Javanese. And think of the poor puffing Pugelhorn players who have to parade down the Pugelhorn stairs every morning to wake up the Prince of Puboken. It's awful how their pugels get broken. And oh, just suppose you were poor Harry Hatto. Try as he will, he can't make any shadow. He thinks perhaps something is wrong with his jizz, and I think that, by golly, there probably is. And the brothers Bazoo, the poor brothers Bazoo, suppose your hair grew like theirs happened to. You think you're unlucky? I'm telling you, Ducky, some people are muchly, ever so muchly more unlucky than you. And suppose you lived in that forest in France where the average young person just hasn't a chance to escape from the perilous pants-eating plants. But your pants are safe. You're a fortunate guy, and you ought to be shouting, how lucky am I? And speaking of plants, you should be greatly gladdish. You're not Farmer Falkenberg's 17th radish. And you're so lucky you're not Ducky Gown, who lives by himself 90 miles out of town in the ruins of Ronk. Ronk is rather run down. And you're so lucky you're not a left sock left behind by mistake in the caverns of Croc. So, Savannah, thank goodness for all the things you are not. Savannah, thank goodness you're not something someone forgot and left alone in some punkerish place like a rusty tin coat hanger hanging in space. That's why I say, Ducky, don't grumble, don't stew. Some critters are much, oh, so ever much, so muchly, much more unlucky than you. Savannah, thank goodness for all the things that we are not. Savannah, let's thank goodness that we are not someone that someone forgot. Savannah, let's thank goodness that we are not left all alone in some punkerish place like a rusty tin coat hanger hanging in space. Hey, Anna, thank you for joining us. That's why I say, Savannah. That's why I say, Lindsay, hey, Lindsay, don't grumble. Don't stew. Some critters, some cities, some people are so much, oh, so much, so muchly, much more unlucky than you. When you consider your problems, consider your blessings. When you consider your trials, remember your triumphs. When you consider your losses, I want you to remember your gains. When you think you have nobody with you, think about us on Friday night that love you, care about you, and we miss you when you're not with us, and we like hanging out with you, and we think that you're special. Because you know what? You may be Democrat, you may be Republican, you may be Libertarian. It's okay, because we don't care about that. You might be black, you might be white, you might be Asian, you might be Hispanic. We don't care about that. You might be a Christian, you might be Jewish, you might be agnostic, you might be an atheist, you might be Muslim. We don't care about that. We care about you because you are you. Either you live in Savannah, you're from Savannah, you chose Savannah, or you come to Savannah every Friday night to hang out with us. And for that, we're blessed and we're honored. And so when times get hard, as I know that they will, I want you to find ways to remember and think about the blessings that you have. If you can get up, if you can open your eyes in the morning, you've done better than people who died overnight. If you have a roof over your head, you're doing better than those that had to live underneath a road the night before. If you can move if you can stand up, then think about those people who couldn't stand up. If you have food to eat, think about those people who didn't have food. If you had a car to drive, think about those who have to walk everywhere that they have to go. If you have your parents, think about those who don't have theirs anymore. If you have your children, think about those who don't have theirs anymore. If you have siblings and friends, think about people who don't have that at all. There are people who are muchly, so much more unlucky than you. But that means that as we consider our blessings, we consider our opportunities to be a blessing to them. You think about that. When we're counting our blessings and we're considering that, Aaron, you get ready to go bye-bye. But the reality is when you count your blessings and you're thinking about the things that you have that other people don't have, you realize that it's an opportunity to be a blessing to somebody else. And I want you, over this weekend, I want you to be intentional about it. I want you to find a way this weekend to intentionally bless somebody else. Okay? I want you to intentionally find a way. If you are in the store and you're buying something, buy the person in front of you or behind you. Let's find ways to do that. Let's go out of our way, because there are people who are much more unluckier than we are. I want us to be intentional this week, and we'll talk about it next week, because there are people who are much more unluckier than us. So we're going to be a blessing to someone else this week, family, and we're going to look forward to seeing you on Monday at 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock on Monday, we will be talking about debt, and we're looking forward to seeing you on Motivational Mondays. I will post the flyer for it. I want you to share it with people. Let's get people in, because you can't bless anybody until you bless yourself. You bless yourself with knowledge. You bless yourself with information. God bless you. Know that I love you, and I go hard for you, and it is what it is. But we will not stop until we make the unlucky people lucky like us. the people who don't have those blessings until we're able to bless them like we are. That's our obligation. That's what makes us Savannah strong. All right? Thank you so much. God bless you all. We will see you on Monday. We will do this all over again. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.